Good evening, Shar. Thank you for coming on Sports Talk with C. How you doing this evening?
I am doing well, a little bit tired, trying to stay warm. How about yourself?
Same thing. I'm freezing. I know I'm from New England and I know we get winter, but I'm cold and I was not expecting it to, get this cold this fast. We barely had a summer, so
Right.
I'm fine. I'm cold. So
Yeah.
that's all. But other than that, I'm doing good.
Good, good.
So tell us who you are and a little bit about yourself.
I am Shar James Little. I play for the semi-pro team women Denver Dynasty. I'm originally from Chicago, been in Denver for about 17 years now, so I guess I'm kind of a native here now too. Uh, you would think I would be used to a little bit of code, but I didn't have a fall to prep myself. So, but
Right.
yeah, basketball player, full-time mom, full-time wife. The regular, the original. That's about it.
So you say you're from originally from Chicago. Okay. So I
Yeah.
hear so many great things about basketball, but because you're from there, what is like growing up there, like the basketball culture?
Oh man, the basketball culture is surreal. I mean, it gets no better than that, I feel, even traveling around. Basketball is really big. I mean, from youth growing all the way up, college playing semi-pro. We have a lot of semi-pro teams out there too. So, it's pretty big out there playing basketball for sure.
Wow. And what it was like for you being a part of that basketball culture growing up, and what was one of the reasons that you started playing basketball?
I would say, let's see, the culture. I mean, I adapted. We didn't have girls' club teams until I think
Mm,
my high school, junior high to high school year. So it was different, but I mean, I loved it. I got to play with the boys. I tried out for a all boys traveling team, Aurora
wow.
Sharpshooters. Made the team, but of course I couldn't play because it wasn't the same as co-ed like it is now by any means, for sure. And I mean, I couldn't tell you. I probably wanted to play ball coming out my mom's stomach, honestly. Like I remember dribbling the ball at the age of 4, so I was probably one of those kids. Like I was determined to have my destiny in playing basketball for sure. Definitely.
And what was your like as a kid? What was that dream that you had when it came to basketball?
Oh, I was gonna be the first woman to play in the NBA. I was gonna be that first woman to ever sign with Jordan Shoe Company. Like I had them big dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah, but keep pushing, being of course, like I mentioned, from Chicago. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of kids that had the dream, of becoming a basketball player. Now we got so many different leagues, to actually make those dreams come true and make them happen.
And how would you like when, when the W first came about, like what was your first initial reaction and did you want it to be like did you have that reaction like, oh, I wish I had that like more seeing of that women's basketball as a kid?
Yeah, I mean, if I feel like if I would have had the opportunity and a WNBA would have came a little bit sooner, it would have been phenomenal. But I remember me and my cousin kicking back, relaxing, like WNBA, what is going on with the world? I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna play with Cynthia Cooper. I'm gonna play with Kim
Mm.
Perrott, Tina Thompson. Like Houston
Ooh.
Comets was my thing, like
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. So I mean, I remember it being so big, and I remember people coming up to me like, Shar, you the all star. You gonna play for the WNBA? I'm like, shit, hopefully I can for
I know
sure.
that's right. So when did you know like your skills and all that? You said you came out of your mom's stomach dribbling a basketball. So when did you
Yeah.
know like you were like you had some skill, you had some game?
I would say when I got to middle school, I knew I could play. I was playing my cousin played high school ball on the opposite
Mhm.
side of town, and I used to wake up in the morning time Saturday mornings, go to practice with her. And the coach was like, "Who's that girl?" She's like, "That's my little cousin." And he was like, he came up to me, after some years and years and years, he came up to me and he was like, "I can't believe that you was in 6th grade hooping with these high school girls." So, I knew I was different. I had something different going on. I had the right people around me. I was always surrounded with basketball, and I still keep myself like that to this day, like continual basketball 24/7. I eat, I breathe, I sleep basketball, no doubt.
And that is, I feel like that is like the true definition of like basketball is life. Like it's beyond
Mhm.
like just the normal, just playing basketball, like watching it. And so, how important is it just to even study the game of basketball to, and the effect that it has on your game?
I love analyzing the game. I mean, after a game, I'm ready to watch film, sit back, relax. So, but I think it's very challenging at the same time, I would say,
Okay.
because at the same time, mentally, I'm not giving myself enough time to recuperate, to actually think about the game before I go analyze and watching the game. So I think it's a catch 22, I think,
Okay.
sometimes, but I think analyzing the game for anybody is phenomenal. I mean, not even that you're working on yourself or looking at yourself. You're looking at the opponents, you're looking at your team as a whole, what we could have done better, what went wrong, or I mean, just the good things that we had as well that goes for us to continue to that following game.
And you said that you made a very good point about like, just letting, actually feeling the game, letting the game happen, letting you think about the game before you go analyze the game. How important is that like now? Because now it's different from like when you were growing up or I was even growing up. There's a bunch of cameras now, and I feel like everyone wants to get it right the next time for the next game just because there's so much flash around. So how important is just that little step to like have that breather just to have that game happen, let it happen, and then go watch film.
Yeah, it's a lot. I think it's very important. You got to regroup. Like mentally, you have to regroup because I know I come home, I'm frustrated at some of the actions that I've done. So, I mean, I think at the same time, watching that game that same day, it can be a little tiring mentally. It can be a little dragging, and then you're not performing the way you should that next day or every other day. You're not performing the same by any means because now you're down. But, when you analyze and you give yourself a little time, now we can work on move to the next game. Now that's all behind me. Now we can go on and move on and forth. Yeah, and the cameras, I tell you, I'm just getting used to the cameras being everywhere again. I'm like, what is going on? They coming from the sky, they flying, everything. I'm like, what is going? What's up with this? So it's an adjustment for sure, an adjustment. I say, yeah, definitely.
And so I always like to ask this question, and I want to know, do you feel like sometimes the camera can either hurt or hinder your game based on the type of player you are? If there's too many cameras around, or some players just do it for the cameras and that's not really true. Like my last interview, we said a lot of people get catfished by just, highlights of a player and not an actual player.
Yeah, I mean, for me myself, being so used to it, doing a lot of interviews growing up and stuff like that too. I mean, I don't let that affect my game. And I
Mm-hmm.
hope, a lot of people on their intel, I hope they don't let it affect their game either. I ignore it. Honestly, I ignore it. I get people try to ask me questions, you ignore it. And you just gotta play until the end of that buzzer. And then now we can get into the interviews. Now we can do all that. But other than that, I try not to let it bother me by any means.
And you also made another comment about having the right people around you when playing basketball. And I've heard a lot of stories where, coaches mess up dreams and a lot of players go a different direction just based off
Mhm.
of that one fact. How important is it just to have people in your corner that are for you when it comes to your dreams and playing basketball?
I think it's big, and it's not even, I think realistically in the world, you need good people in your corner. You need people to have your back. I mean, you need people to tell you the truth, really,
Yeah, you're right.
you need people to tell you the truth. And I mean, I get a lot of backfire from my family, my husband, my son, because they play ball too. So, I got to worry about that. But at the same time, it's a pick me upper. Like you didn't need to do all that. Just go play your game, be you. So I
Mhm.
think people telling you that and the truth, I think that's a biggie for you. And having those people that let you down, when you got somebody in your corner, you just keep that dream alive. You keep going. No matter how old you are, no matter what, you just keep that going for sure for you.
That's what's up. I like that advice. So, oh, you hear that, guys? Be you. Like I always say,
Yeah.
be who you are and play your game.
Yep.
I know growing up you had to play against a lot of, well, I know you said you played against a lot of older women, but I know you had to play against the guys too.
Oh yeah.
So, how has that, helped your game and bring your game to another level, playing against women going like in high school or even
Yeah.
college?
Yeah, I mean, playing with the guys, it evolved my game. I'm only 5'8", so I'm not that tall playing against these big old guys, and it made me toughen up. Like honestly, it made me toughen up. We used to no blood, no foul. You don't have a ref out there on the street courts, so you play. I mean, I remember coming home young, scratches on my face, everything. My mom was like, she's just playing basketball, ain't no biggie. So yeah, that was my thing. I mean, I got tougher. It made me stronger. Mentally, it definitely mentally it made me so strong because I'm like, man, I got these big old guys. So now I'm gonna have to elevate my game. I learned how to dribble better. I learned how to pump fake, take them off the shot. Like I'm getting
Mm,
to the basket. I don't care how big you guys are. So
I
that was
know
a
that's
that
right.
yeah, that was a thing for sure. But I think it made me tougher. It did make me stronger. My game stronger all the way around.
That's
Definitely.
what's up. That's what's up. And, how did you get to Denver?
I got to Denver. I went to Indiana Tech. My husband, he
Okay.
was out here already. So he's like,
Okay.
why don't you just come on out, give it a try? I'm like, I'm not going to like no Denver. Never been to the West Coast other than, traveling California and stuff like that. But I was like, all right. So I ended up giving it a shot. And I think I was here for like 3 days in June. And we went up to the mountains. It was snowing. Called my mom, like, I'm never coming home.
Wait, 3 days?
Yeah,
Wow,
it
that's
only
fast.
took it only took 3 days, and I was like, I wasn't going home after college anyway. I wasn't moving
Right.
back in, so I was just like, I'll find me a little place, do all this there. But I mean, after going to the mountains, having that experience, I'm like, shoot, I'm never going home from there. I get to visit once a year.
That's what's up.
But yeah, it's a beautiful state. Like, I mean, all around beauty. All 4 seasons if you do get 4 seasons. But I mean, the weather here, it may snow, but I'd say just wait a couple of hours, like everybody else say. You don't even gotta wash your car off. You don't have to do anything, wipe it down or nothing. You just go. All the snow's melted. It's just that type of climate.
Oh no, see, I hate the cold, but I have to have some type of snow. I hate when it doesn't snow. I don't know. It's probably just the New England thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how did you come, to stop playing for Denver Dynasty?
Actually, craziness. So I officiate a lot of basketball around too. A lot of
Ooh.
youth. I run my own little player development
Let's just go check you
program.
out.
Yeah. So I was actually had the opportunity to officiate one of their charity games. They're like, "Oh yeah, tryouts are coming out." I'm like, "Tryouts? What? All right." So coach, she was like, "Yeah, do you want to officiate?" I'm like, "Coach, that ain't my cup of tea, really." I said,
Mhm.
"I ball. That's about how I ball. Like officiating, I do that on the side, but you know what I'm saying? You got a semi-pro team, sign me up."
That's right. That's like me asking someone, you want to play basketball? No, I'll talk about it. I'll
Right.
stay on this side. Class playing is not for me.
But yeah, and yeah, coaches let me go ahead and try out. And honestly, I ain't looked back since. I don't regret a moment of it by any means.
I know that's right. So when you're playing on the court, how would you describe your game?
Uh, I'm an old school smooth. I'm smooth.
Ooh,
I'd say that. I'm smooth.
I know
I'm
that's right.
smooth.
I like old school basketball. Now there's too
Right.
much three-point shots and all that.
Yeah.
Too much flashiness for me now.
Yep.
I can't.
I
Mhm.
don't do the flashiness. I'm just that type. I'm just smooth. I like that mid range game. I'll shoot a three though.
Mhm.
Don't get me wrong. I'll shoot that thing for sure. But I can get to the basket. That's my thing. But I
I
am
see
a
every
yeah. I'm a mid range player. I love to jump. I got
game.
some
Okay.
hops like crazy. So Yeah, I utilize all that.
Oh, okay. All right. That's what I'd like to
Yeah.
hear. All right.
Yeah.
Nice. So when I had reached out to Coach B,
Mhm.
she had told me, that you were the MVP.
Yeah.
Before I say congratulations and get into all of that, I want to know, what is your definition of an MVP?
My definition of an MVP is someone that's dedicated.
Hmm.
I have no excuses. You work hard for your grind. And that's for your
Mm.
team, that's for yourself. And you have that love, you have that passion, you have that dedication. That's what I think an MVP is.
That is what's up. I like that. See, I'm gonna have to show the guys this because on my live show on Mondays, I always like to ask like someone's definition of what you know MVP, defensive player, just so you know how you critiquing someone when you're choosing, that award. But congratulations! So
Thank
when
you.
you're welcome. So when you first found out about that you were becoming the MVP, how did that make you feel?
It made me feel, I would say, I felt excited. I was warm inside. Uh, I was kind of down and out beforehand because I really wanted that MVP in Jamaica. Like I felt like I was on
Mm.
point with that. But I'm like, all right. So when I found out, I was like, oh yeah, like I was so excited. I was like, yes, I'm all jumping in my chair and stuff, like so weird. But yeah, it was. I mean, I was excited. Honestly, I was really, really excited. I mean, that sealed the whole up for sure from Jamaica, definitely. So it's just another proud moment for me to continue to do what I love to do and watch the younger ladies that's coming up after me. Just to have them keep going. Just because it's one, you don't get that one, you can get that other. That's how that goes.
I
Yep.
know that's right. You got some real good advice. I love that. um, so if you could like, would you say or mi- mimic your game, or if you would say your game was like anybody else, who would you say would be like?
I mean, me myself, I would say is like me, just because
I
I'm
know
so
that's right.
used to, I'm me. I'm so used to playing my game. But
Yes.
you leave it up to my teammates because I'm quiet. They compare me to Kawhi Leonard a lot, like definitely a
Ooh.
lot. And I mean, in a way, I see it too. Definitely. I mean, he's smooth.
Mm.
He has that slow mo, and then he can take off on you. So I kind of see that for sure. Definitely do.
I like that. Okay, not
Yeah.
quiet. And I, when he's healthy,
Right.
he's the
Yep.
best two-way player in the NBA. Now I just need
Yep.
him to be healthy. That is
Yep.
it.
Definitely. Definitely.
So I would have to ask you, what are your top three basketball movies?
My top three ball movies. Ooh. Well, of course, number one, which is Love and Basketball,
Of
of course.
course.
It has to be, of course. I would also say, like Mike, because my kid keeps me watching that 24/7.
This has to
24/7.
it has to be like a coincidence. There's
Yeah.
no way that the last two people have this on their list. There's no way. There's no way. And this is my third year doing this, and this is the
Yeah.
first time I've 2 weeks in a row. Someone said like Mike, wow. And what's the third?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's an amazing movie too.
Love that as a kid. So shout out to the son. I'm not complaining, but it's just compared to all the other ones out there, you just would never assume, like, never think or guess everyone would say, like Mike, So
Yeah.
hearing it, I'm just like, oh, yeah, but
Yep.
that's cool.
Yep. Let's see. Number three. I don't know what my number three would be, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what my number three would be, just because I'm so used to watching those two movies.
See, I don't have Love and Basketball is like top five, but it's not like my favorite. Like it's not
Yeah,
my number one. So,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's everybody's number one.
Oh
If
yeah, oh
if
yeah.
you could choose anybody in either the WNBA, NBA, college, whomever to come work out with you in your squad, who would it be for 24
Um,
hours?
I would say I'd probably go with Steph Curry.
Ooh, why?
Yeah, I would. Just how his workouts are. I mean, continual. He doesn't stop. The same like on the court. Gives himself a couple of seconds and I'm off again. So I would like to, have that endurance myself. And I'm sure my teammates would for sure. It's not even all about the 3 point. It's mainly, I would say, that energy during the workout, really, is what I would like. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, and if you had the last possession of the game, would you rather do it on the defensive end or on the offensive end? And would you take a mid-range? If you had the opportunity on the offensive end, would it be a mid-range or a three?
I would take a mid-range shot myself.
Okay.
Definitely would. Yeah, that's all around me for sure. I mean, depending on how many seconds are on the clock, like I said, I shoot the three too. But I'm gonna go for what I know.
I wish these NBA players would listen to that.
Right.
And if a young kid was coming to look for some advice about either playing basketball or just following their dreams, what would it be?
I would tell them, do not settle by
Mm,
any means. Don't settle. Don't get comfortable. Keep elevating your game. Just keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going. You don't listen to anybody. I mean, just elevate. That would be my word of advice. It's like when people tell you, don't take no for an answer.
hmm
So that elevating in that game is, don't take no for an answer. So that's what I would tell them for sure.
That is what's up. Well, I thank you, Shar, for coming on Sports Talk with C and coming and chatted up with me. And like, congratulations on your MVP.
Thank
And
you.
hopefully, when next season I get to be able to either see a game, come to a game, and let's continue to spread Denver Dynasty all around.
Oh, for sure. I appreciate you too, C. Let me know when you're here for sure. Yeah, we'll get you hooked up.
All
Most
right.
definitely.
Have a good night.
All right,
Bye.
you too. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.